Hey teams, Lauren here with BIZROK. In today's brief video, I want to talk to you about a wonderful tool that if you've ever had a conversation with me, I've definitely used this for you, especially if we were trying to schedule a time to connect or to speak. And it's called the Dual Alternative Close. So that's DUL, but Dual Alternative Close. And it's a really great way to guide either a patient, a customer, a client, but to guide somebody where you want them to go, but also to make sure that they feel like they have choices. So it's very simple. The dual close means two. You always offer two. So from a patient standpoint, if you're maybe on a phone call with a patient and you're trying to get them scheduled for their appointment, you might offer them two options. So I like to start broad. So you might say, would you prefer a morning or an afternoon? Patient says morning, and then you offer them two mornings. So you might say Monday, April 11th at 9 a.m. or Wednesday, April 13th at 11 a.m. Now, with the dual close, maybe those two don't work, which you just simply say that's okay, and then offer them two additional morning appointments. So it's a very, very simple but highly effective technique that can truly take control of the phone call with your patient, but also guide them where you need to go. From a client standpoint, maybe you're sitting down and you're presenting something to a client, or even a patient in your chair for when it comes to treatment and case acceptance, and you provide them with two different options. And if they don't like those two options, then you say that's okay, and you give them two more options. So oftentimes what I see in any area, whether it's from a physician standpoint and you're sitting down presenting treatment to a patient, or if you're sitting down and you're trying to just figure out what you guys want for dinner. What does your family want for dinner tonight? Typically it's this back and forth of, hey, do you want Chinese food? No, I don't want Chinese. Do you want pizza? No, I don't want pizza. Do you want, and it's just this back and forth instead of being a productive conversation and offering two. So instead, let's use the food example, shall we? So I might say, let's go to lunch together. Let's grab lunch. Would you prefer that I pick you up? Or would you rather just meet there? Meet there, great. Would you prefer Chinese or Mexican food? No, neither of those sound good. That's okay. How about Longhorn or Chili's? Longhorn, great. Should we meet at 12 or 12:30? And you see, it's in a quick and efficient way of offering somebody two different solutions instead of making it so complex or leaving it wide open. So oftentimes what I see is whenever you're speaking to somebody, you have an inefficient conversation and you'll say, hey, what works best for you? Hey, Susie, patient, what time works best for you? And the patient says, are you open on Saturdays? And you're like, no, we're not open on Saturdays. Okay, well, what about Fridays? Oh, our Fridays always book up really fast. And so it's this negative conversation and you can't get anywhere with the patient. Instead of having a positive conversation, making the patient feel like they have choices and truly just guiding them where you need them to go. So let's talk about why I like two. Sometimes I'll have team members say, well, Lauren, I like giving patients three options. Three is my magic number, so I love offering three. Well, the problem with three is typically the person that you're speaking to, they forget what that first option was because they're trying to remember what you said, option two and option three. And so, from a patient standpoint and a scheduling standpoint, you might say we can do Monday, April 11th, Tuesday, April 12th, or Friday, April 15th. And the patient's like, wait, what was the first option? And so you want to make sure that the patient feels like they have options, but that we're not overwhelming them, paralysis by analysis, with too many choices. And then also, you don't want to ever provide anybody with just one option because it makes them feel like they don't have choices. And typically that one option, if you throw it out there the one time, they're probably not going to be able to do that. Or the patient might feel, or customer might feel, that you've pushed them somewhere else. So, give them options, make them feel like they have control of the conversation, but it's a great way for you to actually have control of the conversation and provide an exceptional experience to anyone you speak to.